Hello people, TF32 here once more. My next review was actually supposed to be Resident Evil, but I don't have a PS1 memory card, so I can't quite show you footage of that or Tomb Raider. So until I get a PS1 memory card, I'm moving on to the next game on my list of reviews. These are the Adventure Island games for the NES. There was a fourth game, but it was only released in Japan. This is for 1 through 3, and I'm doing post-production commentary, and you'll probably see why. So, enjoy. Here's the story. The player controls Master Higgins. Hey, who else has this last name? A young man whose girlfriend Tina has been kidnapped by King Quiller. To rescue Tina, Higgins must traverse through a series of 32 stages. Hey, 32! There are 8 worlds called areas, which are divided into 4 stages or rounds each, which are further divided into 4 checkpoints. When the player reaches the 4th round of each area, he must confront a boss at the end to continue to the next area. The game is completed when the player rescues Tina after defeating the 8th and final boss. But we're not going that far, we're just looking at the first level. It's much like Super Mario Brothers. You can't backtrack, it'll become apparent. The first item you get is this stone hammer. It's much like the Hammer Brothers style. The hammer from the Hammer Brothers. And you can also get a skateboard, which can let you travel at horizontal speed. As you see right here, I missed it, but I'll be able to show it off in the second game. Those bars up at the top of the screen, that's your time limit, and the more fruit you get, then the longer your time will be. And you'll see those numbers, those are the checkpoints. The rocks, they don't act as enemies, and as you see, one hit of anything kills you. So if you trip over the rocks while on a skateboard, or any other special item, except for the hammers, then you will lose that ability. Of course, the invincibility fairy is an exception to that, as you will see it right here. It's a lot like Starman. In fact, it is Starman. If you ask me, it kind of looks like Pit from Kid Icarus. So one hit and you're dead. But there will be bigger upgrades in the later games that I show. So you just reach the goal of each stage, and that's pretty much it. It's self-explanatory. That's all it really is for this one. But now on to the second game. Actually, one more thing to mention about this game before we move on to 2. This was actually re-released in the Famicom mini-series, but not in the US. And it was known as Takahashi Menjin no Boken something. I'm gonna have to put it in the annotations. I like to refer to it as Takahashi Hudson's Adventure Island, because that's basically what it translates to. Here is Adventure Island 2, released in 1990. In this game, Higgins can enlist the help of a few dinosaur allies that he rescues along the way. There are also different character bosses for each world this time. The checkpoint system has been eliminated, and if the player dies in the middle of the stage, he must restart from the very beginning. However, the stages are significantly shorter than in the previous game. The boss of each island awaits the player on a specific stage at the beginning. However, if the player is defeated while fighting a boss, the boss will move to another area, forcing the player not only to clear his current stage, but also another one or to fight the boss. There are 4 types of dinosaur friends that he will encounter. These animal friends are summoned when the player collects a playing card suit hidden inside an egg. The blue Camptosaurus, summoned by a heart card, attacks with his tail. The red Camptosaurus, who has the spade, can breathe fire. The Pteranodon, who has the clover, can fly over obstacles and can drop stone. And the Elasmosaurus diamond is the only dinosaur that can survive in underwater stages. Now here you actually can backtrack. I didn't get to show you it, but you can backtrack. The The others will be lost when used underwater and can help Higgins swim faster. As you see, this one just attacks with his tail, nothing much to it. The stages are also significantly short. Yeah, I think I already mentioned that. There's a bonus stage where you get an egg. Now, the second stage, everything is pretty much the same. Not much has changed. You still got the time limit, the fruits, the hammer, and the invincibility fairy is still there too. And you can start off with certain items. These spiders can be a bit annoying. You'll see why in the third game when I do that. So can those snakes, because they can just hop over and you could just end up missing them. Best to avoid those rocks too. You just get around everything okay. I only did 2 stages, and of course this is the second stage that I did. There you go, there's the proof of concept. You can backtrack. And that is Adventure Island 2. It's a pretty decent game. So, not much else to say. Adventure Island 3 is the last of the US Adventure Island Trilogy in the NES. Master Higgins' girlfriend Tina is kidnapped once again, this time by a group of aliens that have also kidnapped his animal friends. This time, Higgins can now crouch, an ability he did not have in the previous NES games. However, he loses the ability to backtrack during a stage. Unlike the previous game, the boss does not move to a different stage when the player loses a life. The inventory system from the second NES game is still present, but this time he has 8 items to choose from instead of just 5. Higgins now has a 5th dinosaur friend who can help him out, a Triceratops, summoned by a star card, that can defeat enemies with his rolling attack. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, you'll see it in action, it's pretty cool. The other new items include a boomerang weapon, like the rolling cutter from Mega Man 1, that can be used as an alternative from Higgins' traditional stone axe weapon, and a crystal that provides Higgins with temporary invincibility. It still appears like a fairy when he begins the stage. There are now different variety hidden rooms as well, such as treasure rooms where Higgins can choose a new power-up or a surfing bonus round. Now you will not be seeing any of this. I'm sorry, you won't. I only did 3 stages. But the stages here, I'd say, are the shortest out of the trilogy. We're only about a minute in, and we already completed that section. Now here we go into the cave. It's like Super Mario Brothers. You go into a cave, basically. It's underground, same thing. But now you can crouch and attack. You can see that I absolutely love this boomerang. You do not want to lose this boomerang. If you do, then you are in bad luck. But you also want to get in a dragon, which will be coming up. The boomerangs can also destroy those things. We got a spade, so now we get a red one that can breathe fire. You can also be completely safe in the lava down there. Now, I did get hit there. It was very depressing. But you can't do it all in one shot. On to stage 3. We are now going into the forest, which looks a lot like the first game. Now, this section I died so many times, and I was on my last life when I finally did make it. It was just very irritating, and I have no idea how I died to that spider so many times. In the third attempt when I do it, I try to do a jump shot, but then I ended up landing on the fire, and no, I ran into the fire, but it was just very annoying. I wasn't sure if I would actually make it through there. The boomerang, I think the boomerang can destroy just about anything, but I was stuck with the Hammer Brother attack. So, yeah. So now we have the fairy. It looks a lot like Pit, well, maybe a little bit. I mean, come on, it's the same color skin, he has a white robe. Same thing. Now there's a bouncy platform that can allow you to get some fruit. Now there's that spin dash I was telling you guys about. And that's pretty much all I have to say about these games. They're pretty good. Don't expect Resident Evil and Tomb Raider to be in for a while. I still need to get that memory card. But until my next video, this is TF32 signing out, and have a great night. You know I did.